4 days ago, I crashed my car into the side of the road, and yet the Atlanta Hawks are way more of a wreck than my car ever will be. Welcome back to my favorite video that I make every single year where I have no script, no nothing. I just rant about how bad my favorite team is. But before we get to that, I do want to start with some positives, okay? Last night we just played the Rockets, or I guess for you guys last night, for me it's like just 5 minutes ago. And we almost won. Yes, let's go. The Hawks almost won a game. Man, I've never heard that before. Yeah, that's not a positive. But let's get to some real positives because I'm going to be real negative this video. And if I list something as a positive, don't think that I won't have a negative coming right after it. Like, trust me, every positive has a negative with this team. There's nothing that's just good. The only thing that's kind of just good is Vic Krejci. He's been amazing this season. And definitely for what we're paying him. He's been great. Defensively, he's been amazing. You know, he's been making open threes and he drives to the basket. That's really all you can ask for a role player. I'm still trying to get over the fact that last year I went to a Jazz Hawks game and he had the chance to win the game while I was in attendance and he didn't. But you know what? Besides that, he's great. Trae Young. I love how Trae Young is becoming way more of like a game manager than just a guy who takes a bunch of shots and gets a bunch of assists. Like he's actually trying to get his teammates involved early so that he can take over in the fourth quarter. There's a negative side of this later, but still. Dyson Daniels. I've been watching the Hawks like thoroughly probably since like 2014. Not a bandwagon, just I wasn't into basketball until then. He's probably the best defender I've ever seen with a Hawks jersey. I don't think that's crazy to say. DeAndre Hunter, top 3 for sixth man of the year. Has to be, maybe even number 1. He's been amazing, shooting 40% from 3, averaging 20 off the bench. This was his breakout year. It had to come off the bench, but still, breakout year. Okongwu's been starting, and he's been pretty good as a starter. Jalen Johnson's still doing his thing when he's on the court. I'm trying to think of some other players. I might be forgetting some. Oh, well. I got my positive out of the way. Now it's just a full negative rant because I'm pretty pissed, okay? Let's start with Trae Young. So 2 years ago, we had both DeJounte Murray and we had John Collins. Last year, we had DeJounte Murray on our team. This year, we have Dyson Daniels. So why is it that this is the year that Trae Young decides that he wants to be a manager and let scorers do their thing and then take over in the fourth quarter? No. This year, we specifically said, hey, Trae, we are building to all of your strengths. Go out there and hoop. And what has he been doing? He's been getting a career high in assists. Good for him. But, like, we need scoring on this team because we built defense around you. So the fact that you're just, not taking that many shots until the fourth quarter, it's really bugging me because this is supposed to be your team. This is the year that we built around you. You do everything. I'm sorry, Dyson Daniels, Vic Krejci, even to an extent, Jalen Johnson. Like these players are meant to help you out everywhere else except the scoring. Because to be honest, other teams will live with Jalen Johnson shooting open threes. Especially Dyson Daniels, not only shooting open threes, but even Dyson Daniels' drive, he's not confident in. And I'm about to get to Dyson because I love Dyson. He's only 21 years old, but he also has major flaws that really piss me off, even though I still like the guy. But Trae needs to be better. He needs to be a better player. The fact that it's even questionable if he's an all-star when he's leading the league in assists, it's concerning to me. Because if you're leading the league, okay, so about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I looked at the stat and he was averaging over 12 assists per game. The last time that happened was John Stockton. John Stockton didn't miss the playoffs putting up those numbers. Or sorry, not miss the playoffs. He didn't miss the All-Star game. So the fact that it's even questionable with Trae Young, that just that blows my mind. Over 2 assists per game more than second place, who I'm pretty sure is Jokic. But he's been that bad scoring the ball. Like he's completely taken the mid-range out of his game. He's only pretty much shooting threes or getting layups, which is fine. That's the NBA formula. But a couple years ago when he was taking mid-ranges, he landed in the top 5%. And it's like it opens up your game so much. He's still always trying to foul bait, and it's just I might get to a bigger picture later, but right now I'm kind of done with Trae Young. Dyson Daniels, again, he's been a bright spot. He's been great. I know it takes time. He was only drafted 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, but his offense is so teams will live with him taking a 3. But everything else is fine. He's a good passer. I just wish he'd be a bit more aggressive in the fast break. But besides that, he's been great. Who else has started? I guess Vic Krejci is starting at the 3. No, Risa J. Our first overall pick, Zachary Risa J, has been terrible. And I'm going to be hard on him. And do you know why I'm going to be hard on him? because he was supposed to be the guy who we drafted to win now. He was supposed to be the guy who we drafted to fit perfectly with Trae Young. A guy who could play defense and hit threes. He doesn't need to create. He doesn't need to play make. And it's been bad. It's been bad. He can't shoot. He's really, like, he's shown a little bit of flash on defense, but at the end of the day, sometimes we have him running at the 4. He's too small for the 4, and sometimes for the 3, I feel like he's too slow to be a 3. And it's just like, there's so many, like, I wish I even made a video on the Hawks for draft night, because what I really wanted us to do, if we weren't going to take Alex Sarr, is to trade down. Because no one else would have even been worth it. No Reed Shepard, no Reza J, no Stephon Castle, no one. But trading down for a guy like Ron Holland, like Matas Buzelis, like Khalil Ware, who I don't know how he dropped that far. Like, honestly, just talent-wise, Khalil Ware's top 3 going into the draft, but I'm not even going to get into that. And the fact that we picked a guy who was supposed to fit perfectly. This is not, a lot of big boards had him like 6th or 7th on their board, but we picked him number 1 because we thought he'd fit so perfectly. And forwards have the easiest role in the NBA. It's hard to adjust being a point guard from college or from overseas to the NBA. It's hard to be a center and learn all the rules because it's so easy to foul out. And how is Reza J the one struggling out of like any rookie? Even Sarr's getting better. Reed Shepard's obviously, Stephon Castle's getting better. I see so many guys like Jared McCain dominated immediately. And our rookie is terrible. And I know we're not believing in him. We're only giving him 24 minutes a game. But like, in those 24 minutes, you're still getting easy looks. You're getting an easy, like, and Quinn Snyder is giving him flexibility. He's letting him take tough shots. But I don't know why he's taking tough shots, because he doesn't need to. I mean, he shouldn't need to if we have Trae Young, except Trae Young doesn't want to take shots, so someone else has to. Someone else has to take shots. And unfortunately, it's been Reza J. Okay. Jalen Johnson, you need to get on the court. Like, the fact that you've been missing so many games recently has seriously hurt us, and it's pissing me off. Besides that, you've been fine, though. Maybe be a little bit more aggressive scoring the ball, but you've been great. Now let's get to the centers, Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu. Quinn Snyder. This is really a Quinn Snyder thing, though, to be honest. I don't get it. So last year, if I remember correctly, or let's just say 2 years ago, or whenever it was, before this season, Okongwu was doing great. Okongwu was playing amazing off the bench, and everyone was saying, dude, give this kid some confidence, give him a role, let him start next to Jalen Johnson, next to John Collins. These are better fits. And it doesn't happen. We just stay with Capella. Even though Capella, I think it was last year, was so bad finishing around the rim. Like, he would shoot 50% on layups. He only takes layups. And he shoots 50%. But this year, in the first 20 games, Clint Capella is actually doing really good. Like I was thinking, like, I actually don't see a reason to start Okongwu because Capella's playing great, and Okongwu's, kind of doing his thing off the bench, but it's clear that he can't guard these really large bigs. And just overall, sometimes it doesn't feel like he's too versatile. Last year, he showed 3-point flash. This year, the 3-pointer hasn't really been on. And now is when you start him. Like, I'm fully expecting a center to be traded, and maybe even 2, because Larry Nance Jr. I feel like has to be traded, and one of Capella and Okongwu. Unless for some reason we just trade Capella and keep Nance. I don't know. But why this year? Why was this year the year where you said, Okongwu, you're getting the start? What, like, was Quinn Snyder, was he really thinking that he didn't have enough authority last year because he's a new coach to just go ahead and start the young guy? Or is he just too stupid? Not to be rude, but this is a rant. I'm getting mad. Why would you wait this long? I feel like Okongwu could have been so much better, and our team could have won more games last year if we just did it sooner. But so why now? Why now when I'm actually a little bit happy with Capella? Hunter, you've been great. These last 10 games, you've definitely cooled down, especially from 3. But you know what? That's just going to happen because Hunter was so good in his first 10, 15 games back. Like, at one point, I swear he was shooting 64% true shooting, which, if you're not into all that, is insanely efficient. Like, that's top 5% in the league, if not higher. 64% is insanely high. You've been great. Bogdan, I don't know what's happening, dude. Bogdan can't shoot anymore. And it's if you can't shoot, well, he's supposed to be the shooter off the bench. That's who he's supposed to be. He was great last year as a 6th man. He probably should have been at least top 3 in 6th man of the year. Maybe he was. I forget. But, if you're not shooting, you're doing nothing. And the other night, not today, so I guess yesterday when we played the Timberwolves, he got a DNP. It wasn't an injury thing. He just got DNP because he's been that bad. I don't even think we should trade him now because his value is so low that we should just keep hoping that he heats up again. I mean, he's been in the league a good amount of years. He's known as a shooter. Teams won't just leave him open. So I still think he's better than a lot of the other players we play. But you've just been terrible. Kobe Buffkin, I hope you get better. I can't believe he's been hurt for the season because I've been so high on Buffkin, and I still think like last year, Kobe Buffkin was the team's just like Dyson is, even though they're perimeter guys. Like Dyson was last year, this year, Kobe Buffkin was our best defender last year. In the minutes he played, our defense was legitimately, I don't even care about the stats. When I watched, the defense was just better with him on the court. So it really sucks that he's hurt. And I'm pretty mad that he's hurt too. So I really hope he gets better because he's going to help the team. I'm trying to think of Vic Krejci. Again, you're just decent. You're not too good, but we're barely paying you. I'm completely fine. I have nothing against you. But I just it's just annoying, and I'm especially irritated this year because we don't have our pick. At least like so I know the Hawks are going to be mid every year. Every single year they are mediocre and there's nothing to change that. But I always think, you know what? Either there's a slim chance we win the lottery, which we did last year in the worst draft class ever, at least for the number one pick wise, because it might end up actually being a really deep draft class, but whatever. But now I don't even have the satisfaction ever of losing. Like every time we lose, it legit hurts because I know there is no positive to losing a game. And it's one thing if you are a contender, but we're not a contender. And the fact that none of our picks are protected, like DeJounte Murray, I'm not even gonna say DeJounte. DeJounte, I mean, it wasn't your fault. Our owners ruined this team because like we have no assets to do anything. Our draft picks have been terrible. I still believe in Kobe Buffkin, but if we're talking about what they've done so far, Buffkin has been terrible. I mean, missing a whole season's gonna do that and playing the G League the first year. AJ Griffin, I don't even know like does AJ Griffin quit basketball if he's drafted by a different team? I legitimately think so. Or sorry, I don't think so. I think he stays. I think he's still an NBA player right now if he's drafted to like most other teams. Rizzo J's been terrible. Okongwu has been decent because I don't even know. Like, has Okongwu even been decent? Number 6 overall pick, and he's just now getting a starting spot, whether it's his fault or not. It's just pitiful. I'm actually liking our guys at the bottom of the barrel, like Keaton Wallace, like I don't like Garrison Matthews that much. I respect how much he tries, but he's just overall not a good player. I'm hoping that Nikola Durcevic, who we drafted in the second round, hopefully is, making the rotation next year because, he got hurt really early. So he's back in the G League, but he got hurt really early in the year. And that has to hurt your development a little bit. And it's just sad. Like, I seriously just want to be done with this team because it gives you these false hopes every year. And like, I don't know, we're below 500 now. We're at a spot in the standings where we'll never be worse than the 10 seed. Unless like Philly really heats up, which they'd just be the Lakers, but that's not much of an accomplishment with AD out most of the game. Unless Philly really catches up, the Hawks will never be lower than 9. I don't think we'll ever hit that 10 spot. But like, teams are now heating up like the Pacers, who should have been heating up. The Magic are getting healthy again. The Bucks are heating up. The Knicks, all these teams will never even be above 7. So literally, no matter what happens, I cannot watch for the next 35, 40 games, however much is left in the season, and the result's going to be the same. We make the play in, just like we did last year, just like we did the year before that, and I believe the year before that. In fact, it could have even been the year before that as well. It's the same thing every year, and it's frustrating. So the Hawks are on a 6-game losing streak. 5 of the 6 games, we shot below 30% from 3. I believe in 4 of the 6 games, we shot below 25% from 3. You could say this is a bad stretch, that, this isn't going to last forever, and it's not. But this team's shooting is terrible. I seriously hope they make a move at the deadline. I actually don't care what move, because I've already lost hope. There's nothing they could do at the deadline that seriously gives me hope. I hope we have a direction. Like, I hope we either get better shooting, like a lot better of shooting, but then are we trading Bogdan for that because we think Bogdan is going to heat up? Or do we not believe Bogdan's going to heat up and that's why we trade him? And then what would we get for Bogdan? What would we get for Larry Nance Jr.? What would we get for... Are we trading high on Hunter, like some fans are saying? Because some fans believe... I'm not even going to comment on it. Some fans believe, though, that the Hawks hold on to their pieces until the value is completely depleted. We never sell high. We always sell low. which is not crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, we got 2 first-round picks in Dyson for DeJounte, so I wouldn't say we sold low. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. I don't know what we could do at the deadline to save us. There's not really any big time players. Like, obviously Fox is someone who's wanting to be moved. We're not getting Jimmy. We're not getting Fox with Trae Young on the team. And I just sometimes I think this Hawks team is so young. We have Jalen Johnson, who's like 22. We have Dyson, who's 21. We have Riza Shea, who's supposed to be good eventually, I guess. I don't know. I'm not saying he won't be, but it's just like, it's frustrating. You have to understand that I'm frustrated right now because he's supposed to help us right now. But maybe he's good in the future. He's like 19. Buffkin's like 21. And I still believe in Buffkin. But it's like, is that enough? And is Trae Young enough? And is Trae Young this winning player? Because Trae Young had that playoff run where we got to play the Knicks, who were a fake three-point shooting team, where we got to play Philly, who just, their chemistry was all over the place with Ben Simmons and Embiid. And, you know, when we played the Bucks in the playoffs in 21, I know I'm still holding on to that run, so I'm still thinking about it. It's like we lost a game, that game 6, where Trae Young, even though he was hurt, Trae Young played and Giannis didn't. And we lost the game because Trae Young played bad. I understand he was hurt. Hawks fans, don't get mad at me. But it's like, ever since then, what have we really seen from Trae Young to fully believe in this guy? But what choice do we have now? So that's why, like, maybe what I'm saying doesn't matter, because what are we going to do? Are we going to trade him? No. Should we have traded him? Maybe, but we don't even have our own pick. So what would have been the point of trading him? And it's just like, this team is so frustrating to root for, especially because you look at these fun, younger teams that are just doing so much better. The Magic are barely doing better winning-wise, but you just know that their culture, they have a culture right now. They have Paulo, Franz, Suggs, Tristan da Silva, all these guys. You look at the Rockets, who we just lost to, and I know it was an ugly win for them, but they have Ahmed Thompson, they have Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Green, Sengun, and then they have these guys like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet who are willing to fight, and it's just fun. And like, I'm not going to, as an NBA fan, because I'm not just going to make Hawks videos, trust me, I'm not going to make another Hawks video for a long time unless some big trade happened. But like, as an NBA fan, I don't want to watch the Hawks because there's so many other better things going on in the league. Where it's like, if I was just like a Georgia, well, I am just a Georgia fan, but I like watching the rest of the NBA. But if I just like the Hawks, right, I would not like the NBA. I'm just being honest, or I just wouldn't like watching it. So I'm just gonna end it on that. The Hawks, again, this video actually had no purpose because nothing's ever gonna change. We're always gonna be mediocre. So there's no purpose. I just wanted to get this off. It's always my favorite thing because I'm just ranting. But if you guys want to listen to some better, more optimistic opinions of mine soon, I'm going to be making more videos about different teams. So if you want to, listen to those, subscribe, like this video to spread it, I guess. I don't even know. Comment your thoughts on it though, because I'm personally pretty mad. Peace out.